We're here. We're in the final match day of the Premier League season, match week 38. Gareth Wheeler, Jake Osgathorpe with you. Want to thank you for hanging out with us all season long here on Pinnacle. And we're here to wrap things up. A campaign that, in the end, didn't have a whole lot of drama. The three teams that came up were promptly relegated. We do have a little bit of a title fight, if you want to call it that, heading into the last match day, but it looks like it's Man City's there for the taking, and we already know the four sides that are going to be competing in the Champions League next season. With that being said, there were many highs, profitable for you and I over the course of the season, some apparent lows as well. But what's your story of the Premier League season from a betting perspective, Jake? It has to be the goal totals. It was crazy the amount of goals that were scored over the course of the season. And the markets reacted where match totals went through the roof here in the final couple months of the season.
Yeah, just a bit. And I don't know if you've had a little peek at the match totals for this weekend, but they are obscene across the board. But yeah, the goal totals, I mean, it's been the highest scoring Premier League season in history. If you look at the last 14 Premier League campaigns, none of them have got near 3 goals per game. We're currently at 3.27, which, yeah, is pretty remarkable. It's been very fun to watch, very fun to follow. And obviously, whenever we've been getting a line at 2 3/4 or even 3, it's been almost an automatic bet. But yeah, going into the final day, I mentioned the lines are very high, and that is not a surprise at all. Across the last 14 campaigns, there's been an average of 3.3 goals per game on the final day. So that's actually a 22% increase on what we've seen goals per game from game week 1 to game week 37. So if we were to extrapolate that this season, we'd be looking at around a 40-goal weekend to sign us off, an average of 3.99 per game. So perhaps that goes some way to explaining why some of the goal lines are as high as they are, because I can see just on the board there's 3 matches that are set with a goal line of 4, which is insane.
Yeah, a special shout out to both teams to score and the over 2.5. It's been a favorite play and a profitable one all season. Look, you play 38 games and then Man City goes on to win a Premier League. That's the way things are playing out. I know it's not a done deal quite yet, but City, all they need to do is win, or Arsenal obviously draw or lose, for them to go on and win their 4th consecutive Premier League title. The funny thing was that Liverpool were the side that looked like to be running away from the pack, although Man City was hanging about. But late in the season, well beyond the midway mark, you could have still played the futures for a champion of the Premier League play on Pinnacle and got Man City at plus money. What do you make of the way that market played out?
Yeah, it's quite funny, isn't it? Because it was pretty much exactly the same as last season, where Arsenal were running away with it. City were just kind of coasting, and then they just hit that switch and slowly but surely reined them in. We got exactly the same treatment this time around, although the points gap was never as big as it was last season. But yeah, got to points where we were getting plus money, and we were advising taking City because they just hit juggernaut mode. They're just relentless. They win every single week, it seems like. And yet Arsenal haven't really put a foot wrong down the running. I mean, they haven't. They've won every single game. That Villa one probably is the one that hurts them the most. But at the end of the day, they had a chance playing at Manchester City to really almost grab the title off them there. But yeah, that definitely is something to keep an eye on. And keep in mind for next season as well, because the way in which City start the campaign and the way in which they finish does kind of, it does lend itself towards almost fading them at the start and backing them when they get into plus money.
Well, the job's not done for City quite yet. The job's not done for us either. Here are final match week plays for the Premier League season. Let's start off with Manchester City and West Ham. The numbers are crazy in this game. City, a significant favorite would be an understatement, minus 1049 for the outright win. The line, the handicap set at 2.75. The goal total for the match is 4, and the team total for Man City is 3.5. I mean, City have won 6 in a row. West Ham can't keep a clean sheet. They haven't had a clean sheet in 11. Just the numbers are all way too out of whack for me. I'm not touching this. Do you have a play in this game?
Well, yeah, I think this is a good opportunity to get a bit leery, to be honest. Let's back West Ham at +8. And I'm joking, we're not backing West Ham to win the game. I am going to back them, though. I'm going to back West Ham to score first in the first half at +608. So it's going to be a small play, but just a little bit of fun, because both teams to score is odds on. So the market's expecting West Ham to score. And I don't see them scoring if they go 1, 2, 3 down. I don't see them getting a consolation. I think the game will just peter out, become a training match. I think they could score first, make it a little bit interesting for a brief period. And almost just they can say, look, we tried, we scored, rather than just going through the motions. And let's not forget that under Pep Guardiola, Manchester City have gone into the final day twice with the title on the line, and they've been behind in both matches. Against Brighton in 18-19, they won 4-1. Against Villa, they were 2-0 down and ended up winning 3-2 in 21-22. So this has got a bit of historic precedence to it, and granted that's a small sample size, but it's a big price for a potentially fun bet.
All right. Maybe a little drama or perhaps just a big tease for Arsenal supporters this weekend. West Ham did score in the other fixture with these two sides played this season. It was a 3-1 final. Simultaneously, Arsenal will be facing Everton at home. Their line much smaller, minus 593 for the win. The handicap set at 2. Again, their team total set at 3.5. Again, just the number isn't there for me to make a play. I was considering Arsenal win to 0 at minus 105, but I'm just going to stay away completely.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm going to stay well away from this. I think if this was a normal Premier League match, wasn't the final day of the season, I would definitely be taking the under, because I think Everton have shown defensively they're so capable. They could easily limit Arsenal to 1 or 2 goals maybe, but yeah, we don't know what mood Everton are going to be in. They could be on the beach, and we saw Fulham flying kites the other week. You never know, do you?
Yeah. So we'll gently move on from that, and we'll see how the title quote-unquote race ends up playing out this weekend. Significant game at Anfield, not for where Liverpool finish in the table, but it's Jurgen Klopp's final match in charge of Liverpool at home against Wolves. The numbers are bonkers here too. Minus 628 for Liverpool to win outright. Plus 1222 for a Wolves win. Wolves aren't that bad. The line set at 2.25. I'm tempted to play Wolves. I'm going to play something else though. Do you have a play in this game?
No, I don't. The line did interest me, to be fair, because I think this could be a bit of a high-scoring send-off. But I just can't put myself to pull the trigger on an over 4 bet when you needed 5 goals for a winner.
These are two sides that love to play to the over. Wolves have had a clean sheet in 12. They've gone over 2.5 in 5 of 7. Same thing goes for Liverpool, over 2.5 in 4 of 5. Both teams to score on a regular basis for both these sides. So why not both teams to score to Liverpool win at plus 125? That'll be a full unit play for me there. Any other bets this weekend? Some sides are looking to the future. Some teams playing for pride. What's on your card this weekend, Jake?
I'm going to be taking Spurs on the handicap, minus 1.5. They are away at Sheffield United. 19 of Sheffield United's defeats this season have come by 2 or more goals. The defensive problems have been well documented. It's 101 goals conceded, 54 conceded at home, which is an average of 3 per game. I think if Spurs hit that average, then they cover this line. They have been a bit off of late, 5 defeats in 6, but all 5 have come against teams currently in the top 7. This is a huge step down and a good opportunity for them to finish the season with some confidence. I also like the goal total in Chelsea-Bournemouth. It is 3.75. I'm going to drop it to 3.5 at a slightly shorter price, minus 133. 12 of Chelsea's last 14 matches across all competitions have gone over 3.5 goals, average of 4.8 goals per game in that time. And 8 of Chelsea's last 9 home matches have gone over 3.5 with an average of 5.1 per game. I think this could be another ridiculous line of 5-2, something like that. We always see one. There's always one game on the final day of the season that just goes bonkers. Last season it was 4-4 Southampton-Liverpool. Yeah. There was a 5-1 the season before. We've had a 7-1. We've had a 5-4. Had a 6-1. A 5-3. So it's just trying to find that game that is the one that's going to go just stratospherically mental.
All right. So that's it for you. We have a final day same play because I have Spurs on the handicap, minus 1.5 as well. An angry Ange Postecoglou ahead of this one against a very weak Sheffield United side who haven't won a game in 13. That's a good play for me at minus 109. I like Crystal Palace to beat Aston Villa. Job's done for Villa. They're in the Champions League. They have so many injuries. Villa actually haven't won a game in 5 and no clean sheets in 7. Crystal Palace haven't lost a game in 6, and they've won 5 of their last 6. They've been flying under Glasner. They have the 4th most points since he took charge of Crystal Palace. and fifth most in expected points, courtesy of Understat as well. A Palace team that's flying. Villa, they're done. They're dusted. They're very injured as well. So give me Palace to win. I'm actually taking on the handicap. It's a little bit more juice at minus 115. And a final play, and I'm going to dig a little bit deeper to give you a little bit more juice on this one as well, for Luton Town Fulham. Like Luton Town's the one side that's being relegated that can leave with their heads held high. They played fantastic football based on what they have. I think they're going to play at Kenilworth Road this weekend. They're going to reward their fans with a win to say goodbye to the Premier League. I do think that Fulham will score, though, because this is what happens in every Luton Town game. They concede. Luton Town have scored in every home match in the Premier League at Kenilworth Road this season, except for one. Do you know what team kept a clean sheet against Luton Town at Kenilworth Road? It was
Newcastle?
Spurs.
Oh, Spurs.
It was Spurs. Oh. How are Spurs the team that went on to do it? So, look, they've been a both teams to score play all season long. So let's go out with a flyer. Both teams to score and Luton Town to win at plus 330 over a Fulham team that's only won one in their last 8. So that's it. Those are our plays, wrapping up the Premier League season. Any final words on this final match week of the Premier League season, Jake?
No, I mean it's been fun. I hope we get the same level of goals and excitement next season. But yeah, we've got just a small matter of the Euros, haven't we? In between the two campaigns to look forward to.
That's what I was going to say. Our content continues. We have a Champions League final with Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund that we're going to dig into on the Champions League betting blueprint. And then Euro 2024 kicks off in Germany on June 14th. We'll have complete previews as well as coverage throughout the tournament right here on Pinnacle. And until then, we just need to wait till August when the new Premier League campaign kicks off. I want to thank Jake for his hard work that he's put in all season long. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank the fine people at Pinnacle for making this possible. On behalf of everyone at Pinnacle, I am Gareth Wheeler. Enjoy the final match week of the Premier League season.